All right, let's talk about one of the biggest topics on your STPM exam, differentiation. Now, instead of just running through a boring list of formulas, I want you to think about this differently. We're going to build a toolkit, your ultimate toolkit actually, one filled with powerful instruments that will let you tackle pretty much any calculus problem with total confidence.
So you ready to get your hands dirty? Because we're about to load you up with everything you're going to need. And look, this is not about rote memorization. It's about really understanding what each tool is for, and more importantly, when to use it. Okay, let's crack open the box and see what's inside.
First up are the absolute essentials. Think of these as the trusty wrenches in your kit, the product rule and the quotient rule. Anytime you see functions being multiplied together or one divided by another, these are the tools you're going to reach for. They are your everyday workhorses, for sure.
Okay, let's put these two side by side, because this is where the details really matter. Look at the top part, the numerator. They both have a UV and a UV prime component, right? But here's the key difference. For the product rule, you're just adding them. Simple. But for the quotient rule, whoa, be careful. It's a minus sign, which means the order is absolutely critical. And on top of that, you have to remember to divide the whole thing by v squared. That little minus sign and that v squared denominator, that's where people slip up. Don't let that be you.
So we've got our basic wrenches down. Now it's time to add a real power tool to the collection. I'm talking about the chain rule. This is the heavy hitter you bring out for the more complex jobs, specifically when you've got a function nestled inside of another function.
Now, the formula might look a little abstract, but the idea behind it is actually pretty brilliant. The chain rule lets you peel back the layers of a function, one at a time. You deal with the outside function first, and then you multiply by the derivative of the inside function. It's like you're drilling down, layer by layer, to get to the very center. It's just a super elegant way to solve what can look like a really messy problem.
And you know what? I want to stop right here for a second. When your official syllabus literally puts a star next to something and labels it very important, that's not a suggestion. That is a direct message. This isn't just another thing to learn. The STPM exam fully expects you to know the chain rule inside and out. It's non-negotiable. So pay close attention.
So what do these composite functions even look like in the wild? Well, here are two perfect examples. In that first one, the 2x plus 1 is the inside function, and raising it all to the power of 5 is the outside function. See it? For the second one, x squared is tucked inside the sine function. The moment you spot a pattern like this, that's your signal. That's when you know it's time to grab your chain rule power tool.
All right, our toolkit is shaping up nicely. We've got our wrenches, we've got our power tool. Now let's add some specialized attachments. These are for those specific functions that you are guaranteed to encounter on your STPM exam. I'm talking about exponentials, logarithms, and of course, your trig functions.
This table right here is pure gold. You just need to burn these into your memory. The derivative of e to the x is, well, it's just e to the x. How awesome is that? The derivative of the natural log of x is 1 over x. And with trig, sine becomes cosine, but watch out. Cosine becomes negative sine. Knowing these cold is like having the exact right drill bit for every single screw. It just makes the whole job faster and way more efficient.
Okay, our toolkit is seriously stocked now. But what if I told you that you could use these amazing tools more than once on the very same problem? Well, you can. This is where we get into higher order derivatives, and they let us uncover much deeper truths about a function. And you know what? The process itself is surprisingly simple. You start with your function, f of x. You use one of the tools from your kit, maybe the quotient rule, maybe the chain rule, and you find the first derivative, f prime of x. And then, what do you think you do next? You just do it again. You take the result you just got, and you differentiate that to find the second derivative, f double prime of x. It's really just repeating the skills we've already covered. So why would we even bother doing this? This is where it gets really interesting. This is where the math connects to the real world. In physics, if your first derivative is velocity, guess what the second derivative is? It's acceleration. And in pure mathematics, the second derivative tells you about the shape of a curve, whether it's bending upwards or downwards. This is how we go from just having a formula to truly understanding how a function behaves. And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. We haven't just been looking at a random list of rules. We've been carefully building a powerful toolkit. Every single thing we've talked about, the product rule, the chain rule, the derivative of sine,
is a specific tool designed to help you take apart and deeply understand any problem the STPM exam can throw at you.
So there you have it. Your toolkit is fully loaded. You've got the essentials, you've got the power tool, and you've got all the special attachments. It's ready for action. The only question left is, what complex problems are you going to solve first? Now go give it a try.